Hey yo, what's up? This is E4K and we're going to talk about the Korean food culture. There are typical types of Korean food cultures like rice soup, barbecue restaurant, wrap and eat, and this banchan. I will cover the other topics later, but today we're going to talk about this unique Korean food culture about banchan. Alright, before going into the topics, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button and also the notification bell. The definition of banchan is a collective name of small side dishes served along with the rice in Korean cuisine. It is a side dish, but it is quite different with side dish what you think of in the Western world, like pickles or French fries, something like that. It has a totally different concept. Well, the most popular side dish, banchan, would be kimchi. Those of you who has visited Korea and went to Korean restaurant may have noticed they serve banchan for free in the restaurants. Not only banchan, also the water is free too. I could assure that 100% of the restaurants they serve banchan and water free, agua. Well, maybe 99%. What is surprising is you can refill it as much as you want. There's no limit. So this is one of the unique Korean cultures that lies in Korean restaurant. Of course, those banchans could be melted in your menu, but basically they just serve it free. It doesn't matter how much you ask for it, more refill it. But you don't want to ask for more than like 4 or 5 times. Well, they will still serve it as free, but they won't like it anyway. I'm not sure where this tradition came from, but I think it's because it's related to a Korean word called 정. There isn't the exact word reflects this word, but it might be translated as affections or humanity between people. Actually, in Korea, people are quite generous on food. The foods are considered to be shared with the others. So there is a word saying, you even share one bean with others. The Korean people are more kind of caring for we than the individual I. This is the different concept of mine with the Western cultures that we is more important than I. So for instance, I'm in a room with some of my friends or some people who I might know, and I might be eating my snacks. It is natural to offer a snack of food to the other people nearby me. If I don't, the others might think like that guy's kind of selfish or kind of stingy. Yeah, people could think in that way. Korea and many other Asian countries is based on the rice, but bowl of rice can't stand alone for a meal. It needs something else to eat with the rice. So the basic composition of Korean table meal is 1 bowl of rice and 1 bowl of soup and 2 or 3 or more banchans. So this could be kind of basic composition of Korean table meal. Here comes the unique part. Banchans. These banchans are set in the middle of the table and it is shared with the other people. Also, sometimes you put some jjigae in between soup and stew, and you also share that jjigae too. So this is quite different meal culture compared to the other countries, because other countries are more likely to have their own dish for a meal rather than sharing with others. So sometimes people think sharing the food is not good for hygiene. Nowadays, some people for like the soup or jjigae, they use their own different bowl to eat it. For a small side dish, they don't really care much about it, because mostly when you eat a meal with banchan, you eat with the close people, like your family or friends, maybe like colleagues. So they don't really bother about it. Until now, there was no problem eating together. Of course, Korea is not the only country that has a banchan side dish, what we call. China, Japan, and other Asian countries do have this side dish culture, but it is quite different. It distinguishes with the other side dish culture. Mostly other countries' side dishes are prepared on the meal, but many Korean side dishes which are pre-prepared before the meals. And there are more various types of banchan. It could be subdivided into different categories too. The main big category, we could divide it as the main banchan and the small side dish banchan. The main banchans are more like a main dish, but the small side dish, what we call 밑반찬, are the ones we pre-made and store it and eat it whenever you want. What is the definition of this 밑반찬? 밑반찬s are the side dish which are made to store it for a long time and eat it. It could be stored for a few days or a few weeks or even a few years. There are more than 100 types of 밑반찬, so they use all the different kind of ingredients to make this 밑반찬. As time passed, this has evolved a lot. This small side dish called 밑반찬, we don't eat it by itself. It's not standalone food. Mostly we eat it with the rice. These 밑반찬s are kind of salty. You have to blend with the rice together. Those of you who still don't understand this concept of 밑반찬, maybe I might give you little examples. It's not the exact same, but it could be referred. For instance, if you make a mashed potatoes, you eat it, you put it on the fridge and you eat it for a week or so, right? Those kind of side dishes are called 밑반찬 in Korea. The characteristic of these 밑반찬s are ready-made, of course, and it could store for a long time, and the ingredients are quite simple. You don't use a lot of ingredients. You might use a lot of seasonings, but the ingredient itself is quite simple. There are fermented foods too. Just like kimchi. When you make kimchi, you can store it for a few months and eat it. And even you can even store more than a year. The longer you ferment it, the taste changes. It has more sourness as you ferment a longer period. Those of you who recognize kimchi might think kimchi is this, the cabbage kimchi. Of course, the cabbage kimchi is the most well-known and is most popular kimchi. But did you know there are more than 100 types of kimchi? I will not cover that this time. I will cover it on the other topics. So kimchi might be like the basic side dish you always serve with the other main dishes. Of course, not every Korean like kimchi, but majority of Koreans do love kimchi. I will introduce you some common basic 밑반찬s in Korea. The first one is kim, dried lever. Some of you might not be familiar. Kind of a seaweed. It's like baked and salted seaweed. This is like one of my favorite 밑반찬s. And the next one is called 콩자반, beans cooked in soy sauce. The color of beans are black because it is cooked in soy sauce. And this one is called 깻잎, marinated perilla leaf. So some of you, if you try this for the first time, it might taste kind of weird because it has this herbal taste. If you keep trying, you'll get used to it. The next one is called 장조림. This is beef boiled down in soy sauce. Korean cuisine use a lot of soy sauce. This one is called 오뎅무침. It's a seasoned fish cake. And this one is 오징어채. It's a seasoned dried shredded squid. We do love a lot of seafood too. And this one is called 멸치볶음, stir-fried anchovies. This also tastes good. It's quite salty and sweet. Those were the Korean popular, common, basic side dishes called 밑반찬. Not all the 밑반찬s are Korean traditional foods, but they do have other 밑반찬s we Koreans love. Spam is one of that. Koreans really love spam for 밑반찬. They love to eat spam with rice. And also the can of tuna. We love to eat can of tuna with rice. It's one of popular 밑반찬 in Korea. And there are more other various types of 밑반찬 you can find it. So when you eat at home, we eat this rice with this 밑반찬 along with the main banchan, or sometimes just 밑반찬 itself too. What's good about this 밑반찬 is it makes your meal more diverse. When you have 6 밑반찬s, you might eat 2 of this today and 2 of that tomorrow, maybe 2 other 밑반찬s in the next day, and you can mix it. You can make a very different combination of 밑반찬s. You can have the different taste every day. And also, what's good about this, they use a lot of different ingredients for 밑반찬, like vegetables, seafood, meat, whatever, all the different kind of ingredients. So it is quite balanced for your nutrition. So you can have a different type of nutrition by eating various types of 밑반찬 with your rice. In Korea, there is a really famous province for this banchan. It's in the Jeolla province and it is really famous for this like tremendous meat banchans. This is how they serve in the restaurant. Of course, it's not in every restaurant, but there are many restaurants they serve like this in Jeollado. Even Koreans get surprised when they order a menu. Except for the main banchan, others are refillable. You can ask for more. There are certain restaurants in Seoul near the suburb serve like this. So this is the restaurant served like the Jeollado province. The portion is for 2 persons. And guess how much this meal costs? It is $10 for each. So to get this table, you just need to pay $20. Isn't that great? Of course, there are some restaurants it costs more than this, but it is worth the money. So if you are planning to come to Korea, don't forget to experience one of these restaurants. Nowadays, the people living by themselves prefer eating at home. So there are many banchan shops in Korea now. It is growing in a high rate. There are a lot of choices in this banchan shop. Also, the price is quite reasonable. One banchan could cost like 3,000 won, it is $3. So you buy 3 or 4 of them and you keep it in your fridge and eat it for a week. Isn't that convenient? When you go to Korean restaurants in Korea, they serve 2 or 3 basic banchans or more. Some restaurants like barbecue restaurants or raw fish restaurants, there is this self banchan corner. So you can pick up your banchan as much as you want, 2 times, 3 times. If you go to this place, don't forget to pick up this banchans. The number of banchan is quite limited, but still you can get a free refill banchan in these restaurants too. Free banchans and refilling this banchan culture is quite unique. In other Asian countries, they don't serve banchans for free twice or more than that. If you go to Japan and ask for kimchi more, they will charge you for that. But in Korea, it is totally free. When you come to Korea, learn this phrase. 여기 반찬 하나 더 주세요. That's it for today. If you want more interesting topics, you know what to do. Thanks for watching.